And with me, as always, is the Bearish Bomber himself, Stefan Bearish. Away, Berishaj. Almost butchered your last name there, brother.
Don't put my government out there.
I was gonna say Bershowitz. Berishaj, let's go. Week 7 is here. The halfway point to the fantasy football season. If your leagues do it right. 14-week regular season and then 15, 16, 17 for the playoffs. We are so close, yet so far. So much can happen from here on out. Make sure you are liking the stream, subscribing to the uSTADIUM channel to help us help you extend your winning streak, righten the path of your losing streak, and set you up for a championship run of the ages. I see you got the coffee coming in you. It must taste like crap coming out of that cup. Must taste like dust coming out of that Tom Brady cup there. But how is it going, Steph? How you been, brother?
It's been a rough week. It's every week that I can't watch a game on Sunday for 7 hours is a rough one, you know. It's like, okay, Monday's here, then we got Tuesday, Wednesday, the little buffer zone. But no, it's good to be back, and it's good to be getting the NFL. It's almost mid-season time.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks away from the mid-season review.
NFL, yeah, NFL mid-season. I mean, it's coming quick, man. We're heading
like this.
Yeah, we're heading into November, and then it's Derrick Henry's season because nobody wants to tackle Derrick Henry in December. So here we go. We're right around the corner. Any surprises for you start of the year, for halfway through the fantasy season?
To be honest, outside of the whole, and I was actually in the space a few days ago with Frankie and the boys. They had a little jet powwow. It's the Elijah Moore situation. He's one of the guys I'm looking like, wow, what's going on? Even Holden Cantor said about Pacheco, him starting today. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Rojo, those kind of guys. I'm like, oh, where have they been? Outside of that, it's been a pretty under, I guess you can call it, a year when it comes to points and just. It looks like it's more defensive, but I think the offenses are going to start rolling out the second half of the season. So I think we're still in store for a lot of bigger surprises. A lot of guys who are underperforming are going to start to pick it up. And like you said, it's Derrick Henry season almost. So those guys are going to wake up and studs are going to be studs. And I don't know. I feel like we're missing one or two guys that are going to break out later in the season that are going to be championship winners. So I still think there's more left for the season, but for the halfway mark, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, it's been good. We saw Holden Cantor there with the comment that Isaiah Pacheco named the starting running back, at least for the first snap, for the Kansas City Chiefs. The rookie has looked impressive when he's been given the chance to run the ball. He runs hard. He runs fast. He can catch the ball. He's going to move the ball downfield. They have been struggling at the running back position over the past couple of weeks. Clyde Edwards-Helaire hasn't been that great. He's been stuffed on the goal line a couple of times. You have Jerick McKinnon there, who hasn't really been that great either. But Isaiah Pacheco, man, if he's on your waivers, you're going to scoop that guy up, because if he can be the guy for the Kansas City Chiefs, who are maybe making the move because they missed out on Christian McCaffrey, so they're trying to get something going on the ground there to help with the passing game. Pacheco's going to be a guy that you're going to want to pick up. Gallup with Dak Prescott back against Detroit, or Isaiah Pacheco versus San Francisco. I'm going to take Gallup here in this situation. San Francisco is the number 1 team against running backs in terms of fantasy scoring. Running backs are only about averaging 10 points as a unit. So that's the whole running back room as a whole versus the San Francisco 49ers. They score the least amount of points, running backs do, against the San Francisco 49ers. And we just saw Christian McCaffrey play against them as well. The new San Francisco 49er. We talked about it a bit last Sunday. Also on the Tuesday space, we had a little Christian McCaffrey talk about where he should end up fantasy-wise, what would be the best spot. Supposedly it was between the Rams and the 49ers. McCaffrey ultimately chose the San Francisco 49ers over the Los Angeles Rams. So I'm excited for it. He's expected to play today, so I'm hyped for it. I don't know at what capacity he's gonna play, but anytime that guy's on the field, I mean, you love to see it, especially new team, new system. My only worry, and I'm burning sage today. I'm lighting my Saint Padre Pio candles. I'm praying to the fantasy gods. I'm trying to write the course of previous San Francisco running back injury history. So hopefully Christian McCaffrey can be the Derry Sanders that we know he can be for the San Francisco 49ers, because a lot of people were saying this was probably the best spot for him to land and for fantasy purposes, just based on the system and what they run there for the running backs. We're going to be seeing a lot of dump offs, a lot of catches, which is what you want. If you picked Christian McCaffrey mid first, I mean, he has all the opportunity, especially now for the San Francisco 49ers, to end as the season's RB1.
I mean, listen, you're kind of asking for a tall order here, I feel like, in a way. I mean, if we can get on the laundry list of the last 2 years, I can hold on my hand how many different running backs have gone through San Francisco. And I get it, it's McCaffrey. I just hope that Shanahan has a smarter role for him than previous coaches did. Rivera, Rule. I think he is finally given the back he's been looking for, because he alternates back. Mitchell, Jeff Wilson. You got last year Mostert. You got Hasty. You got TDP. You got it's literally a revolving door back. But finally, Shanahan gets his guy. Gets the guy he knows he can do the Deebo Samuel work. I think that he goes back to full receiver. McCaffrey is that guy. Even today, I feel like Kyle Shanahan's like, listen, it's 5 plays. We can run him over 5, 6, 7 times, rush him the ball, get him acclimated. I think he has a good, not like a 25-point day, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets you and you are in a full PPR, even standard, 10 to 15 points. I just think that they know what he is, and it's like you don't sit there and, get on the play and look at the playbook. He's a smart guy. He went to Stanford. It's a close area for him to be. He's not some guy who just doesn't know how to learn and he's not Jamarcus Russell. He knows how the playbook is. He knows what it is to be a good player. So I think coming out today, I wouldn't be surprised 10, 12 carries, 4 or 5 catches, and just a nice little solid day. But next week, they're going to unleash Christian McCaffrey full out when he knows how that team works.
So you're starting him today, right? He's a start. You got to start him just based on who he is, right? If he touches the ball 10 times, those 10 times he could go off for 60 and a touchdown. He can get 3 catches, 30 and a touchdown, right? So you're starting him because at worst he's a low end RB2 on a new team. Short time with the new team. He can finish as a low end RB2. With the limited snaps, just because of what he can do with the ball, right? So you're starting.
Exactly. Oh, 100%. And you picked what, 2nd overall pick, 1st pick, 3rd pick, whatever it was. You still paid for him, and he's still that guy. It's just don't expect the.
Oh, we're losing you, Steph. We're losing you. Abducted. He abducted. Steph is gone. Let's get to the question here. Hey, fellas, your life on Wan'Dale, your thoughts on Wan'Dale Robinson today. I like Wan'Dale in that Giants offense. He has all the opportunity to be the wide receiver 1 for them now that he's healthy, dressed for the Giants. The Jaguars are allowing 21.67 fantasy points to the wide receiver position on the year. Breaking that down, that puts them at the bottom half of defenses against the wide receivers. They're allowing the 20th most fantasy points to the position on the year. They are scheming him touches, so that's a great sign. You love to see him get those touches in the red zone when they're within the 5 to the goal line. They're drawing little swing plays for him and everything like that. So I'm okay starting Wan'Dale. He out of wide receivers, he led the team in targets last week. My only issue is volume. The New York Giants aren't really throwing the ball all that much. So if the Giants get up big on the Jags and decide to play keep away with their running back, I could see a situation where Wan'Dale Robinson doesn't really have that game that you would want him to have. But high end wide receiver 3, low end wide receiver 2 for the week versus the Jags. So I was big on Wan'Dale coming into the year. It's nice to see him finally healthy and get some playing time for the New York Giants. So yeah, start him if you can. Drop Zay Jones for Isaiah Pacheco. I would do that if I had a healthy wide receiver roster. Zay Jones does see a lot of targets for the Jaguars offense, but if you can get a guy that's potentially top end running back, a starting running back, the RB1, especially for the Kansas City Chiefs, that's definitely a situation that you're going to want to invest in. So I got no problems dropping Zay Jones for Isaiah Pacheco, especially if I'm healthy at wide receiver and I need the running back. So Pacheco looks like the most explosive running back on that team. The fact that he's been getting the reps all week with the ones for Kansas City, plus the start this week, he can catch the ball. He's going to be running the ball. He's explosive when he's got it. They are looking for some new life in that Kansas City running back room, and Isaiah Pacheco could be the guy that does it. Blake Borovitz, Amari Cooper, or Alan Lazard as wide receiver 3, non-PPR. So we're going to go standard here. I'm going to lean Amari Cooper. He does see a little bit more volume than Alan Lazard does in that offense. The Green Bay Packers did lose Randall Cobb, and Christian Watson is also out today with the hamstring injury. But Amari Cooper's that guy. He is top end of the league in red zone targets. He's going to get open. We know that he's going to do that. He's the number 1 target for the Browns passing attack. They are facing the Baltimore Ravens, who are the 28th ranked team against the wide receiver. They let up the 5th most points to the position on the year. Versus the Ravens, wide receivers are averaging 25.67 points on the week. And then if you're looking at the Green Bay Packers, the Packers are playing the Washington Commanders, who are right there with the Ravens in points against to the wide receiver. So both guys could end up having good weeks. Alan Lazard could see some decent volume with both Watson and Cobb out. He seems to be the most trusted guy for Aaron Rodgers in that wide receiver room, but I'm going to lean towards Amari Cooper here. Steph, you're back. Welcome back, man.
Sorry, it's my computer decided, hey, let's reset real quickly. I'm like, no, I was talking.
Download the updates.
Well, it sat there, paused for like a minute, and I'm talking, and I'm like, oh, this is a great freeze frame. But no, I'm back.
Here you go. So Blake, I would roll Amari Cooper this week, man. Good luck. Braden Kofod, Aaron Jones, or CMC, Pitts, or Kittle? You got a take on any one of these?
I mean, I think I'm going to go with Aaron Jones. I would never normally do this unless, the CMC factor is new team, new everything. Give me Aaron Jones and give me Kyle Pitts. Give me George Kittle. I think George Kittle's back. I think he's removed from that injury that nagged in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I think, was it last week or the week before? If you looked at his numbers, he had, I think 8 catches for 81 yards when I told you to start him a few weeks ago. I think he's finally back. And honestly, CMC being there, I think it actually helps Jimmy G, because even when he had all those guys, he didn't know where to go with the ball. Kittle was not really like factoring into his game. But I think now that he's there, Kittle, Aaron Jones, and next week CMC over him going forward. But just because it's a short week for CMC, give me Aaron Jones. I don't trust Kyle Pitts just yet, so give me George Kittle.
There you go, Braden. Good luck. Kyle Pitts did get his touchdown last week, but other than that, he was non-existent in the passing game, so he was saved by that touchdown. Otherwise, he probably would have ended up with another abysmal 4 to 5 fantasy points. So I'm okay starting Kittle there in that offense. And then, Aaron Jones, CMC. Yeah, I roll with Aaron Jones there. New life, Aaron Rodgers or Matt Ryan. I'm going to lean Aaron Rodgers.
Can I say neither?
Yeah.
No, Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan's finally starting to get into like the comfort of the offense. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what's going on, but whatever that was that he took a few months ago, that little retreat that he went out, I think he needs to stay off of that stuff and just start playing quarterback more, because it's not looking good. But Matt Ryan, I mean, you have 2 old guys, so give me Matt Ryan rest of the season actually too.
Rest of the season, eh?
Over Aaron Rodgers has done nothing to like make me feel comfortable starting him, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Like Rodgers is Rodgers, but it's 2022. It's a whole different offense, and it's doesn't look like it's the most fluent offense that we run. I can't remember the word. I'm going blank.
It's all good.
Go
But Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, both great matchups for the quarterback. Matt Ryan's got the Titans coming off a bye, and Aaron Rodgers has the Washington Commanders with Taylor Heineke under center. The only reason that I would lean towards starting Matt Ryan over Aaron Rodgers is that the Washington Commanders are starting Taylor Heineke, and the game script could favor Matt Ryan more than it could favor Aaron Rodgers, because the potential for a shootout versus the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts is greater than the potential for a shootout for the Washington Commanders and the Green Bay Packers. So if you're chasing points, I'd probably lean Matt Ryan. If you want maybe a safer floor, I'd probably lean Aaron Rodgers.
Would you go Heineke over either of them?
No.
No
chance. No chance. Dak or Herbert, Pollard or Jamal Williams. I'm going to lean Herbert over Dak this week. Dak coming off a hand injury, starting in place of Cooper Rush, which I am in favor of. I was never the guy to beat the Cooper Rush drum to start over Dak Prescott. I believe it was the defense that won Cooper Rush a lot of those games over Cooper Rush winning those games. And Dak Prescott brings a different layer to that Dallas Cowboys offense that Cooper Rush just isn't going to give you. But Herbert, I believe, has Keenan Allen coming back this week. So I haven't seen the update on his status heading into the week. So I'm going to lean Justin Herbert there. And then Pollard or Jamal Williams. DeAndre Swift, most likely not playing. I haven't got confirmation or
no, he's out. Yeah,
is he out? Has it been confirmed out or just
Sleeper confirmed it like at 2 a.m. and then I think ESPN has just adjusted their rankings to where it's 0 and that he is 100% can probably be out.
I'm gonna lean Jamal Williams. Tony Pollard does look good, but he still has that Ezekiel Elliott guy there, cutting into that snap share, limiting his opportunities. So I'm gonna lean Jamal Williams just based on volume.
Yeah, I mean Jamal is Jamal when he plays. I mean Dak is good, but I'm going to sound kind of like a hypocrite in this one because later on you'll see why. Dak's coming off on a hand injury. I mean, we saw Russell Wilson last year had the same kind of hand injury, came out a little bit sooner, but he still didn't look like the same Russ. I think Dak Prescott, I'm hoping he comes back and he's ready to go because I would assume that they don't just bring him back, 2 weeks earlier when they were still winning games. So I think Dak is a slight, knock off that, but Herbert is I think he's quarterback 1 by the end of the season. I think he's just with Allen back, his weapons are there. The guy is a dog. He's a gunslinger, and I think he's going to have one of the best days out of the quarterbacks today. So I'm starting Herbert, and I'm starting Williams.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Good luck, Mr. Crowder. Again, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We are brought to you guys by the uSTADIUM app. Make sure you're getting into that take feature. If you don't have an account on the uSTADIUM app, download the app or visit the website, make an account, drop us your username, and we will hit you up with some promo points to get you in onto that takes feature. We're going to be creating a take later today that Isaiah Pacheco, the new running back 1, at least for this week, for the Kansas City Chiefs, finishes in the top 12 of fantasy scoring. If you agree, you're going to drop onto the agree side. If you disagree, you're going to hit the disagree side, and whichever side wins is going to split the points in the pot. So watch out for that take. It's going to be dropping right after this episode. Angel Serrano, Tyler Lockett, or Jamal Williams in the flex?
Ooh.
You like one over the other here, Steph? Seattle does draw a decent matchup today. They got the Chargers, who J.C. Jackson, their new signing, has been benched. But Lockett's been that under the radar, quiet, fantasy producing wide receiver for fantasy managers this year, putting up some decent numbers, a deep threat target and middle of the field target for Geno Smith. And then, of course, Jamal Williams with the DeAndre Swift news there for the for the Lions coming off a bye versus the Dallas Cowboys. You like one over the other there, Stefan?
I'm looking at it, and I think it's going to be the guy. It's Lockett. I love Jamal Williams. I love the volume, but I just think, like you said, the Cowboys defense won them those games with Cooper Rush. I expect them to do the same. I think the Lions are good. I just think Jamal Williams can get shut down. I think Dak Prescott and those boys, I hate to say it, come in and they just have their day with them. I think the Cowboys, and offensively, they've been good, but I think they're going to come out and prove a point. And Lockett has been a great play all year. I mean, the guy has been a stud, even with Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I like him over Jamal Williams and a bunch of other receivers. I wouldn't start Williams really. I'm not too confident in Williams. I can't find a reason why to start him. Like you said, the Dallas defense is a lot better. That front line with Micah Parsons and Lawrence. I just think Jamal Williams might be forcing a committee. Lockett, it's just him and DK Metcalf. So expect at least 8 targets from Lockett. And one of those can be a freaking rainbow ball for a touchdown. I mean, they did bench, like you said, J.C. Jackson. So who knows who the quarterback 2 is in L.A. right now.
Yeah, the past 5 games for Lockett, 11 targets, 8 targets, 6 targets, 5 targets. He had the big game versus the New Orleans Saints. This week he draws the Chargers. He is currently the wide receiver 14, so he's a top end wide receiver 2 on the season, and he's a go-to target for Geno Smith. I could definitely see a situation where this game turns into a high-scoring game versus the Chargers and the Seattle Seahawks, where the Dallas Cowboys allow the 5th least amount of points to the running back position on the year. So I'm okay with starting Lockett there.
So do you think it's a shootout, or do you think it's more Cowboys way? Like it gets ugly for the Detroit Lions bad?
I don't think it's gonna get ugly. The offensive line for the Detroit Lions is stout, so you know it's gonna be a battle. I believe one in the trenches. I just don't see Jamal Williams getting the kind of volume that you would want, or the kind of breakout runs that we've seen him be able to do this week versus the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that Dallas Cowboys defense is scary good and winning them games. So Detroit Lions coming off a bye. You always kind of want to bank on those fresh legs, but it might get a bit for Jamal Williams to get back into that game motion before he decides to put up any kind of fantasy value for you. So I'm going to go with game script for Tyler Lockett there. James Caramana, are you starting Pacheco over CEH if you have to? If I have to, I'm starting Pacheco over CEH. He's taking the first team reps all week. He's going to be the starter for the Kansas City Chiefs. I just don't like the matchup. If I have another option, I'm probably starting Jamal Williams over Isaiah Pacheco or Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week. So yeah, if I have to, I'm starting Pacheco over CEH. I don't like it. I'd rather start Jamal Williams over both. San Francisco 49ers run defense has been stout this year. They are the number 1 team in stopping the run. So let's get to our starts and sits of the week. We got some big ones here for you. Again, if you have any questions, drop them into the chat and we will get to those questions. We will pause our start and sits of the week and get right into those questions. So our starts and sits of the week. Before we do that, we're just going to get into some quick news here. Week 7 buys: Philadelphia Eagles, Los Angeles Rams, Buffalo Bills, and the Minnesota Vikings. 6 players in the top 20 fantasy scorers are out this week due to the buys. So there's a bunch of good names on the Eagles, the Rams, the Buffalo Bills, and the Minnesota Vikings. So some big names not playing in your fantasy lineups this week. So
sucks.
Yeah, it does. But the good thing is, rest of the way, you are setting and forgetting these guys in your lineup.
That's why I love it.
Week 7 injury report. J.K. Dobbins is out 4 to 6 weeks with a knee issue. Julio Jones is out with a knee issue. Baker Mayfield's out with the ankle. DJ Shark is out with an ankle issue. Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay both out for the New York Giants. Randall Cobb is out with an ankle issue. Christian Watson out with a hamstring. Carson Wentz out with a finger issue. Elijah Moore, wide receiver for the New York Jets, is out with hurt feelings. Russell Wilson is out with a hurt hamstring. Darren Waller also out with a hamstring issue. Josh Palmer, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers, out with a concussion. Joshua Kelly out with a knee issue. Jahan Dotson was been ruled out earlier this morning, as well as DeAndre Swift. If Isaiah Spiller is on your waivers and you have the room, if Joshua Kelly continues to miss time with that knee issue, Isaiah Spiller might be a decent handcuff grab for you moving forward. But let's get to our starts and sits of the week. Our QB start of the week is the return of the Dak Prescott. Tell us why we're starting him, Steph.
Would you start a guy, if I told you that his numbers, just listen really quickly. You're going to tell me yes or no. 3-0 against this team. He is averaging 23 completions on 30 attempts. He's averaging almost 66% completion on a good day, 3.2 touchdown average, and a 300-yard day. That's Dak Prescott's average against the Detroit Lions, a safety-less Detroit Lions, a team that is the top scoring offense, but the number 32nd ranked scoring defense. So this defense you can score on because they'll score right back on you on offense. And I think they go, okay, well, Dak Prescott, you're going to have, 3 touchdowns, but we're going to mimic you. So I think this is one of those games that have a potential for a shootout. I know Dallas has that good defense. You were just preaching it. You were just saying how these boys are back, Micah Parsons and Lawrence, all of them, but it's Detroit. These guys, we know we're going to lose. But if we're going to lose, we're going to make you look good doing it. And it's going to be like a 35-38 kind of a game. But that's just what I think the Lions are. It's a fantasy like heaven for quarterbacks, for running backs, for receivers. I mean, the last few weeks, the Lions have been in a lot of shootouts, a lot of over games. Week 1 against the Eagles, Jalen Hurts ripped them apart. Like, it was a fantasy galore. And I expect Dak Prescott not to rush all over the place. I mean, he's not really the most mobile quarterback when it comes to his game. But I expect him to throw for 300 yards. I expect at least 2 touchdowns from him, maybe 3, because it's your first game back. You didn't do good your game 1. He had 147 passing yards week 1. Doesn't scream crazy numbers. And I mean, last year you had a lot of games where we looked at you, like last year against Washington, and you just threw 2 picks, and you're just like, what are you doing, Dak? Like, I think he comes out. He's had 6 weeks of Cooper Rush show. I mean, I've seen the memes. I've seen the whole, hey, coach said I have my spot back. And Cooper Rush is like, who are you? It's done. It's Dak Prescott season, I think.
Yeah.
Lamb, Schultz. Everybody gets right and gets good. It's the Lions. It's what better right game to have than against the Lions?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it screams a fantasy heaven. I'm going to give Dak Prescott, like I said, 300 passing yards. Give me 2.7 on the touchdowns. I'm more convinced it's 3. I don't want to touch the number 3. I'll just say 2.7 and round that up. Give me 24 completions and give me at least 25 rushing yards. I think he just has a top 7 quarterback day, and a lot of the options are out there. I think I'd start Dak Prescott over Tua. I would start him over Trevor Lawrence. I would start him over a few guys because I think he's back, and he's got a good offense. Zeke, Pollard, CeeDee Lamb. You got Jake Ferguson's a backup. You got Dalton Schultz is the real guy. You got Michael Gallup on there as well. You got Noah Brown. Like, you've got the offense. Just go out there and sling the gun. That's it. Or sling the rock. That's it. Just sling it. Show them why you guys are big in Dallas. Shut Jerry Jones up because I know he had got into a little spat with Massage Man Kraft earlier this week. So just relax. I think Dak Prescott is a easy plug and play for this week, and I think going forward too. I know he's been bad. He hasn't been the best guy, but Dak Prescott's got those days where he can throw and get you a 40-point fantasy day or a 30-point fantasy day. Mm-hmm. And this will be one of those days.
Yep. He's an RB1. I mean, QB1, right? Sorry. Yeah, he's a QB1, right? He's a guy that 100%. You're going to put into your lineups, and with the weapons that he has around him, he's got Gallup back, he's got CeeDee Lamb there. Hopefully he revives Dalton Schultz a little bit. I know Dalton Schultz was a high tight end pick on the season. So hopefully you can revive him. They got the offensive line, Pollard, Zeke. The offense is there. The defense is there to help out the offense. So, yeah, I'm good with rolling Dak Prescott versus the Lions today. QB sit, Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the New York Giants. Surprisingly, the New York Giants have held opposing quarterbacks to an average of 16 points per game. Fantasy-wise, that's the 12th best in the league. Only 2 quarterbacks of the 6 they have faced have thrown 2 touchdowns against the Giants. That's Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Tannehill, week 1. QBs are averaging 205 yards, 1.17 touchdowns per game against the G-men. So it's not a good matchup for Trevor Lawrence. The Giants have also been able to slow down the rushing QB, holding Lamar to 77 yards on 7 carries and Justin Fields to 52 yards on 7 carries. So we've seen these guys be able to go off for big numbers on the ground, these QBs, and the Giants have been, taking it away a little bit. So that combined with taking away the passing game and holding down the running game for the quarterbacks, it's not a good recipe for quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence's average per attempt is 6.9 yards. The defense for the New York Giants have held opposing passers to 6.4 yards per pass play. So he's hitting right around what they're going to average quarterbacks to throw. Against bottom of the pack defenses, Lawrence has shown what he can do on the field versus defenses in the top half of the league. Lawrence struggled with turnovers. Houston, he had 2 interceptions. Philadelphia, he had 1 interception and 4 fumbles. The New York Giants are leading the league in fumbles forced and are sitting at only 1 interception on the year. They got a +2 differential in takeaways. The boys get to the ball in New York. My projection, 195 passing yards and 1 TD with multiple turnovers for Trevor Lawrence. So he's not a guy I'm comfortable starting versus the New York Giants. And if the New York Giants impose their will with the run game like they have been with Saquon Barkley, I don't see Trevor Lawrence touching the ball all that much either. So
did you just sit there and convince me why the New York Giants are a good football team? Is this like
defense, Dayball, and Daniel?
The 3 Ds in life.
3 Ds of the New York Giants.
Maybe they teach the New York Yankees how to win, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the Daniel part, there's brackets there. So defense, Dayball, and Daniel, and then Daniel in brackets, letting Saquon play under center. And that's the way to do it because Saquon starts with an S. So there you have it. So we're starting Dak Prescott and we're sitting Trevor Lawrence. So get there. Our RB start of the week is Kenyon Drake of the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. The Justice Hill activation does worry me a bit, but not enough for me to sit Drake after coming off his game of last year. His game of the year last week with 10 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, we mentioned it, out 4 to 6 weeks after getting another knee procedure. This will probably be the last week that you can start Kenyon Drake. Gus Edwards has been activated off the injured reserve. Justice Hill is back. And with the true RB1 in Baltimore taking a lion's share of the rushes, this will be it for Drake. And that true RB1 for Baltimore is Lamar Jackson. Of course, the Cleveland Browns are the 30th ranked team versus the running back, allowing the last 3 teams to score a combined 99 fantasy points against. In the past 3 games, that's 510 rush yards, 6 rush TDs, and 94 receiving yards, and 1 receiving touchdown against the Cleveland Browns. They've nicknamed the Browns rush defense Pope Benedict because it is so holy. All he needs is another 10 carries to have a decent game. If you spent any kind of fab on Kenyon Drake, this will most likely be the last time that you could use them. Got to throw in those dad jokes there, Steph.
I know I am all for it. I love those dad jokes.
Projection 97 yards, 1.75 touchdowns. Modest but big boom potential here for Kenyon Drake. If we have any questions, Splash, just pop them up and we'll answer them. Our new life, Jacoby Myers or Romeo Doubs?
Myers. I think Myers is
Myers.
I like Doubs, and I just think that we're overhyping him. I feel like he's good. He's got those games. He's gonna have his boomer.
He's good volume.
He does, but he doesn't see the yards. And Myers, he had that touchdown. For some reason, he just didn't want to score a touchdown last year. This year, he's like, you know what? I have a new outlook on life. I want yards. I want catches. I want touchdowns. And I think Myers is the actual RB1, or sorry, not RB1, receiver 1 on that team. I don't care who else is there or what anyone else tells you, if his name's not Jacoby Myers, then I don't want him. So I think starting him this week, especially on Monday night against who? The Bears. The Bears, like,
does it matter for you who's throwing the ball for the Patriots if it's Mac Jones or Bailey?
Bailey Zappi, I feel like I'm gonna take a lot of heat for this. I like Bailey Zappi. I like what he's been doing. I like what he's showing. He looks like it looks like what they wanted Mac Jones to be is what Bailey Zappi is being. Like, he's slinging the rock. He doesn't care what he's doing. He's making plays, he's making moves. Mac Jones, I like the guy. He's a Bama product. He's smart. He's got the IQ of better IQ than a lot of quarterbacks, but I feel like he's scared to do what Bailey Zappi does, and that's sling the rock. That's the only reason I have a knock on Mac Jones. And he's like Alex Smith. Just loves to be conservative with it. Go ahead.
He does, but I was listening to Splash talk about the situation and Mac Jones and how much he's changed to throwing the ball more downfield, and his numbers with that. I forget what he said, but he said they resemble more Josh Allen. They resemble more of Josh Allen's deep ball attempts, big time throws. He had the 5 big time throws, 4 turnover worthy plays. So he's getting the ball downfield. He's trying to make those moves in order to score the points, the touchdowns. Is he the guy? I mean,
from what you've seen this year, and of
fantasy wise, I mean, I'm not trusting Mac Jones.
But like, I mean, NFL wise, it's, you're progressing in Josh Allen. It took 3 years for him to get to God mode, which he is at now. But then again, that also is like the team. I mean, is Jacoby Myers Stephon Diggs? No. Is Devontae Parker Gabe Davis? No. I mean, I think if New England surrounded him with a deep threat guy like we always wanted to, like, I don't want Kendrick Bourne or drop the baby Aguilar or, Jacoby Myers or Parker. I want a guy who is like what he had at Alabama. Give me a receiver like that and let me see what Mac Jones can do. Because what we're seeing is like, oh my God, this guy can do it. But then again, he's doing it with Jacoby Myers, which you can get once in every blue moon. But give him a stud receiver like, I know it's impossible. Give him like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I want to see what he does with that kind of like a receiver. So next year's draft class, get him a good guy, Marvin Harrison Jr., JSN. You give him one of those guys, and then boom, we see what Mac Jones can really do. Because right now we're capping his offense with these guys. They're not even receiver 2s. Let's be real. They're almost receiver 3, borderline receiver 4s.
Yeah. So we're good with Jacoby Myers to make a short answer long.
Sorry.
Give me 3 tight ends that score on National Tight End Day. What are your 3 there, Steph?
Greg Olsen, Tony Gonzalez, and Antonio Gates. Sorry, I meant to say Kittle, Pitts, and Kelsey. I love Andrews, but I'm worried about Andrews. Like, I'm scared he's going to come out and have one of those days. But I'm healthy, and then Isaiah Likely. Watch out for Isaiah Likely. It's National Tight Ends Day, and it's always the most random tight ends that we don't think are going to score. The Bellingers, the Ruckers, the Isaiah Likeleys, the McBribes, like those kind of guys I feel like are going to score today. And then Kittle and, Kelsey, the guys who are the ambassadors of tight end U, are going to be like, these are our guys. But listen, just pick a tight end. It's going to happen. Someone's going to go off today really, really big. I don't know who it is.
I'm going to go a little off the board here. I'm going to go Gerald Everett for the Chargers because I love the matchup versus the Seahawks. I'm going to go Dalton Schultz with the get right game for Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott back. And I'm going to go Mo Alley Cox for the Indianapolis Colts. So those 3 tight ends for me, I believe, are going to score on National Tight End Day.
Get your parlays ready.
Yeah, make sure you tell a tight end how much you love them. We all love a good tight end. Blake Borovitz, another non-PPR question. Aaron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, or Kenneth Walker. Who do I start as my running back 2?
Really? It's not Aaron. It's not Zeke. But it's Kenneth Walker. Like I said last week, it's Kenneth Walker. I don't have to say his name. The guy balled out. I think rest of the season I was listening to a few podcasts. Everybody is high on the guy, and guys who want to take him from you are very low. Don't let people stoop you wrong. Kenneth Walker is a league winner. RB2, Rashad Penny was there. Look what he did. I think Kenneth Walker is better than Rashad Penny, and I think he's better than Zeke Elliott and better than Aaron Jones right now. And I'm talking strictly fantasy football. Like, you want points, get Kenneth Walker in your lineup.
Yep. There it is. Start Kenny. The Cowboys do have a nice matchup there versus the Lions, but Kenny Walker just has no competition. Najee Harris or Jamal Williams or David Montgomery.
The fact that we have to even talk about this, it just sucks for Najee. Like, I can't even confidently say Najee, but I'm gonna say Najee anyways because the name, the talent, it just seems like they're gonna have a better day at running the ball.
There you go. Start Najee Harris there. Chicago Bears, Eberflus did say that they were going to ride the hot hand at the running back position. So this might be a Khalil Herbert week. Khalil Herbert might be a guy, if you are big into DFS, that's a guy that you might want to start. You could probably get him for cheap there. So watch that. And then, of course, Jamal Williams has not a great matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys. So roll with Najee Harris. You know he's going to catch the ball. You know he's a part of that offense. It's just a little worrisome on his usage. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, George Kittle, or A.J. Dillon at the flex. A.J. Dillon is your RB sit of the week, so you're probably not going to lean that guy. Mm-hmm. Isaiah Pacheco has taken over the running back one duties, at least for the first snap on offense for the Kansas City Chiefs. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, even if Pacheco wasn't starting and Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the guy, the San Francisco 49ers have the best defense against fantasy scoring running backs. They are number one in that spot. So I wouldn't even start Clyde Edwards-Helaire if I didn't have to. And then you're starting, I guess it's George Kittle out of the three.
Hey, National Tight Ends Day. I mean, it's like it's lining up for you to start him because CEH, if he has got no touchdowns, he's nothing. He's touchdown dependent. A.J. Dillon, I mean, I'm going to go, I'm not even going to tell you. I'll go into A.J. Dillon in a second and tell you why you shouldn't start him. Kittle, like I say, is positively going up. He's getting more workload every week. And I'm never, I never favorite flexing a tight end and having a tight end. So if you have a good tight end that's starting better than Kittle, good. But this would be the only week I tell you to flex another tight end because the other two options are not good for me.
Mm-hmm. Good luck. Should I drop Brian Robinson for Isaiah Pacheco? No, I'm not doing that. We know what Brian Robinson is right now. We know he's the RB1 for the Washington Commanders. I personally, when I watched the game, I thought Antonio Gibson looked like the better running back out of the whole room, but the coaching staff does not agree with that situation. So we know Brian Robinson's going to be the RB1 for the Washington Commanders. Antonio Gibson has taken a bit of a back seat there. We are not too sure what Isaiah Pacheco is going to be after this week. He could come out and put up a stinker, and then that whole running back room is in flux. Maybe they trade for a guy. Maybe they go out and trade for disgruntled Cam Akers or something like that. So I'm not dropping Brian Robinson for Isaiah Pacheco.
No, unless you have like a weird knowledge that we don't know, that no one knows, start Pacheco, but you're really asking for what I think, and I could be crazy here, a 5-point floor to a 30-point ceiling. But you don't know what you're going to get. Is Pacheco going to get that one big run? I know he wears number 10, but he's not the old number 10 on that team. So you don't know what he's going to do. And like you said, Brian Robinson is, listen, this is the guy. He's back already, and Antonio Gibson does look good, and that's kind of a true committee, but you have you're more clear on what Brian Robinson would give you than, like you said, Pacheco. Yeah. If you can get Pacheco, bench him and see what he does. If you have to start him, good luck, but you're really looking for a very dart throw when it comes to Pacheco right now.
Agreed. Good luck. Do you think DJ Moore is droppable?
Do not drop. No, I've seen this so much this week. Do not drop DJ Moore. Just wait, please, because he's going to go. I think he's going to go somewhere, end up somewhere that is not going to have Baker Mayfield as their quarterback.
Yeah. Well, the trade deadline is what, Tuesday, Monday?
Yeah.
If he doesn't get traded, is he droppable? Because really, it hasn't been good for.
Just leave him on the bench.
Panthers, but they did trade Robbie Anderson, so he is the guy there for the Carolina Panthers. But what is the guy? What does that mean?
It means he's just a guy who dresses up and runs routes for fun out in the field while his quarterback gets sacked or throws the other way.
It hasn't been good. I don't know if I'm dropping him or who I'd be picking up to replace him. Redraft leagues, you might have to consider dropping him and letting another owner pick him up and worry with the headache of should I start him or should I sit him on a weekly basis. So he may be that good trap player like Russell Wilson was last year.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was that perfect trap player where if you had him and you dropped him, you're hoping that other managers pick him up and attempt to start him. For the Carolina Panthers, the team is averaging 26 pass plays per game, which puts them at the 26th ranked team. So they are not passing the ball a whole lot either in Carolina. I would hold them until at least the trade deadline, maybe another couple weeks to see what the usage is going to be without Robbie Anderson there. But he's definitely a drop target. Definitely a drop target. We discuss a lot of pickups and drops as well on our Tuesday waiver wire space on Twitter. Make sure you guys are tuning to that as well to get insight into our top waiver ads of the week, as well as the going-ons, the NFL, and heading into week 8 next year. Bursch, did you agree with Gallup as well versus Pacheco? I did have Claypool as well. This is my big money league, just trying to make the right choice.
I am. I think Gallup, like you said, coming out 2 weeks after the injury, I think he's going to have a better game. I think you just know what you get from Gallup. I know the injury is scary. And like I said, Pacheco, floor of 5, ceiling of 30, but you don't know what you're going to get anything in between. I think Gallup comes out. He's going to have at least 6-7 targets. It's Dak Prescott throwing the ball again. So it's an actual accurate quarterback that knows how to place the ball better than Cooper Rush. No offense to Cooper Rush because he was good. But yeah, give me Gallup over Pacheco. Even Claypool, do you trust Claypool? Like, do you think he's a guy that's going to come out and do well, or he just has that one game last week and then, everyone's like, oh my God, he's back. And then you start him and he bites you in the ass. Because I'm okay with Gallup over both those guys by at least.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with Gallup over Claypool this week as well as Pacheco. Yep, I'm okay with that. I mean, am I dropping Claypool? No. Am I picking up Claypool if he's on waivers, and I'm dropping maybe someone I'm not too comfortable with? I might pick him up just based on what he can do. He is that field stretcher wide receiver, but with Pickens there and Deontay Johnson there, Freiermuth is back as well. There's just too many hands to give balls to there.
So yeah, Holden, I hope and reach out later. Let us know how it went out. I mean, we'll see what Gallup did, but let's see how you won that matchup because now I'm interested. I'm invested.
CMC or Ramondre Stevenson today in full PPR. Damian Harris is back for the New England Patriots. So
doesn't die, that guy.
He might hamper Ramondre's output just a little bit. CMC now with the 49ers on the short week with the limited practices, with limited practice time with the 49ers. This is a tough one because we've seen what Ramondre can do when given that full workload in the passing game, in the running game. He broke out last week, big numbers for you. If you started him, we know what Christian McCaffrey is. We've been saying for a week, 2 weeks now, that this is the perfect landing spot for Christian McCaffrey fantasy-wise. So it's kind of tough to sit him for Ramondre Stevenson, especially in full PPR. I'm gonna roll Christian McCaffrey.
I never thought the day would come where we're looking at CMC or Ramondre Stevenson, but I'm gonna have to go McCaffrey too. Like you said, his playability to make any 5-yard run a 50-yard touchdown run or a 5-yard screen pass into like a 50-yard screen touchdown is insane. Stevenson is good. We saw his breakout game. He's a workhorse back, but it's McCaffrey. It's white chocolate. I like to call him. This guy knows what he's doing. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's electric, baby. Come on. It's San Francisco. It's the Bay. It's Kyle Shanahan's like, I've got my boy. And if you're going to play on one leg, you're still going to score me a touchdown. So I think CMC is the guy this week. I think he does score a touchdown. And he does have a decent game, like I said. Mm-hmm. Stevenson also, I mean, if you can't start him either, it sucks. But he's a good guy to have on your bench because at least you have depth. I just think that with Harris coming back, it's going to cut into his workload. He might get some pass game work, but I think CMC is a clear-cut start like I said, even on a short week. I'd have CMC over a lot of running backs this week, just because of what he is and what his potential is as well.
Yeah. And Shanahan's a smart dude, man. He's going to get that guy the ball.
Yeah.
And they were the most recent team to see him play, so they know that he's still got it.
That's why they traded for him.
Yeah, I saw a report actually that when Ed McCaffrey was playing for Mike Shanahan in Denver, Kyle Shanahan actually babysat Christian McCaffrey, and that's an interesting tidbit. I love stories like that. That beats the breakfast at Tiffany's with Stafford and Cup there. So give me the babysitting connection. Greg here, PPR flex, Tony Pollard, Romeo Doubs, Jerry Jeudy, or George Pickens. If you had to rank them, which way would you go?
Okay, bear with me here, okay, because it's gonna kind of sound crazy. Give me Jerry Jeudy, George Pickens, Pollard, and Doubs.
Jeudy, even with
now, I think it's with Ripon as a quarterback. I feel like they're gonna have to get him the ball. There's no running through Melvin Gordon. There's no running through Mike Boone or Latavius Murray.
But that Jets defense, man. Woo. I don't know if I'm putting Jeudy up there number one, man. I know, I'm doing it.
I know. And I think Courtland Sutton draws the sauce on him. I think Courtland Sutton's going to be draping the sauce, and there's nothing he can do to get out of it. But someone has to eat, right? Like someone on that team that's not Dulwich, that's not big O. Like I feel like Jerry Jeudy, and because he has that big playability. Look at last week against the Chargers, had that big 35-yard catch. I think he does that. I mean, who's gonna score for this Denver team? Like if you had to choose someone, you think Sauce Gardner breaks that streak?
I don't think anybody's gonna score for this Denver team.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ripon though comes out and he cooks. Like I wouldn't be surprised because it's fantasy football. Crap like this happens where it's like you signed a $300 million quarterback, and the next thing you know, this guy out of nowhere comes and has a better day. If Ripon has a better day than Russell Wilson, there's gonna be talk.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of talk, but I think Jeudy has...
I don't see it happening, though.
I know. And I've done some dumb stuff in the last whatever, and I know I've got some crazy takes. But I feel like Jeudy is he's still good. Like, Dobbs is not better than Jeudy. Pickens is not better than Jeudy. Pollard's not better than Jeudy, like, athlete-wise. And I think offensively, even if they're down, the Jets are whooping on the Broncos. I mean, I think, one garbage time touchdown saves his day. I think he has 4 or 5 catches for at least 60, 70 yards.
I'm going to go the other way there. I'm going to put Dobbs versus the Commanders. The Commanders absolutely are atrocious versus the wide receivers. I'm going to go Pollard, Pickens, because I don't like the matchup versus the Miami Dolphins. And then I'm going to put Jeudy fourth just because I do not like the matchup. I do not like the situation at quarterback. I do not like green eggs and ham. So good luck there. Bobby Lee Jr. in a pickle at the moment. PPR, RB2, Donta Foreman, Chuba Hubbard, Melvin Gordon, or Dontrell Hilliard. I'm going to go Gordon. He's getting the start for the Denver Broncos. I do not trust either Foreman or Hubbard. It's going to be a committee there for the Carolina Panthers. And then Hilliard is the handcuff to Derrick Henry there in Tennessee. We can see a situation where Hilliard outscores all these guys just because we've seen the boom plays that he can produce for the Tennessee Titans. We've seen the breakoff runs, the breakoff passes for Hilliard. But I'm going to go with the guy who I think is going to have the most volume out of the four, and I'm going to lean Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Latavius Murray really cuts into Melvin Gordon stuff? That's why I'm worried.
Yeah, I think there's going to be again, just like Foreman and Hubbard with Gordon and Murray and Boone, it's going to be a hot hand approach. Hilliard, I just don't think is going to see the volume that the rest of these guys are going to see, so I'm not comfortable starting him over these others. But I'm going to take the guy who I know is going to at least start the game. He's going to be on the field quite a bit, in Melvin Gordon. Give me Mel. Gregory Blaine, Juju versus the 49ers, or Deontay Johnson versus the Dolphins. We did see Juju break out for the Kansas City Chiefs last week, putting up big numbers, finishing as a wide receiver 1 for fantasy managers. He is the top target behind Travis Kelce on the Kansas City offense. I love the Kansas City offense. I'm going to lean Juju Smith-Schuster over Deontay Johnson versus the Dolphins.
Again, what's going on? We're choosing guys over other guys, and you're right. I mean, it's like, what do you want? Xavier Howard? Do you want the 49ers? You got to pick your poison. I think Juju does get the better receiving end of it. I think last week was his breakout game, obviously, because but I think now that he's got the rapport with Mahomes, he's gonna start looking like the receiver one. MVS shows flashes of it. You can't go through Kelsey. I mean, you literally can go through Kelsey, but you need other targets. You need other weapons, because then people figure you out. I think Juju has finally got into his comfort role. I think he knows what he needs to be for the Chiefs. The first few weeks, they try to make him like that deep threat guy. But then going forward, Juju's a solid receiver 2/3. And yep, over Deontay Johnson this week. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it, especially just this week. 49ers, though, good defense, but I trust them.
I mean, San Fran last week was suspect, so I mean,
yeah,
I think it's a good bounce back week, especially for them.
Jim Coop need to start 2 running backs in the flex and PPR. Latavius Murray, Donta Foreman, Kenyon Drake, Jeff Wilson, or Sony Michel.
Gee,
I'm gonna go Kenyon Drake, because I just talked about why we should start Kenyon Drake this week. If there is a week to start Kenyon Drake, it's this one. And then it's a crap shoot. Well, Sony Michel's bye week, right? On the Rams?
No, he's on the Chargers.
He's on the Chargers now? Oh, yes, that's right.
Listen,
the other LA team.
They all look the same.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm going to go. That's an interesting start now that Joshua Kelly's out. I'm going to go Kenyon Drake, and I'm going to go Latavius Murray.
I'll double down on that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff Wilson owners. It was fun.
It was fun while it lasted. Manuel Gomez, hi, bros. Is Kenyon Drake a safe play, or I switch him for AJ Dillon or Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt has a higher upside. He's also been lacking the last few weeks. So I feel like not a breakout game, but a get right game is coming for Kareem Hunt. And AJ Dillon is a sit candidate for me this week. I mean, obviously his numbers he's gotten the workhorse value, but he hasn't done anything with it. Also with Kenyon Drake, like you said, he's your starter for you. But I hate to say it, I kind of have like that back of the head, like don't start him kind of a thing, because next thing you know, you can get burnt off of him because Justice Hill takes the carries. But if I had to rank them, give me Hunt, Drake, and then Dillon.
Yep, there you go. Good luck, Manuel. Also, Bateman or Juju, I'm going to lean Juju.
Yep. Sorry, Smash.
Yeah, no, just a volume thing for me. Should I start Isaiah Pacheco or Tyler Algier? This is a tough spot, man. I think we're going to see a decent amount of Isaiah Pacheco. I just think we're also going to see a decent amount of Tyler Algier.
I mean, he's getting 15 carries almost a game. He's getting there. He's getting no pass volume. There's nothing in the pass game for him.
Exactly. The matchup, the Falcons are drawing the Bengals. The Bengals are they're pretty good against the run as well. They're the 7th ranked team against the running back. 49ers are the 1st ranked team against the running back. I'm going to go Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, I have to, because I'm trying to find a way not to, but yeah.
Drake or Jeff Wilson Jr., one spot. I'm going to lean Drake.
Yeah, give me Drake. And like I said, RIP Jeff Wilson.
I don't know how much field he's going to see now with Christian McCaffrey there.
None. None. I mean,
Travis Etienne or Kenyon Drake?
Don't see. This is the stuff that's going to come back.
I'm going to go Travis. I'm going to go Etienne. I don't like the matchup versus the Giants, but I'm going to lean Etienne there.
Okay, I was gonna say, let's not be those guys.
Let's not get too cute.
Drake over everyone.
Yeah, no, I like Etienne there.
No, yeah, I'll take Etienne.
There. Godwin or Amon-Ra this week? I'm going Chris Godwin.
I'm actually surprised you said that.
Yeah, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is in that upper echelon, top tier wide receiver. Could finish as a wide receiver 1, but Chris Godwin is Tom Brady's favorite target, I believe, in that offense. They are facing
the only family he's got left.
Yeah, they are facing the lowly Carolina Panthers. So I'm gonna roll Godwin, man.
Yeah, Godwin's PPR machine.
That's a great problem to have right there. Considering some of these questions we've seen today, that is a great problem to have.
Actually, it's funny because I don't have that. But like, would you start? Because I have a question now that I hear the Godwin or Waddle.
I'm going Waddle. I'm going Waddle with Tua back there.
Okay.
Versus the Steelers. Steelers are one of the worst teams in the league against the wide receivers. I'm rolling Waddle. Give me Waddle. Just the potential for boom is so insane. Big. James Robinson, Brian Robinson, or Isaiah Pacheco. Pick 2 full PPR. Brian Robinson and Isaiah Pacheco.
You don't like James Robinson anymore?
His value is just. If I'm going full PPR, I'm going Brian Robinson's the RB1 there, and Isaiah Pacheco is at least for the start of the game, the RB1 for the Chiefs. I'm rolling those two guys. I don't want to trust a guy that has seen diminishing volume and touches week in and week out for his team. Not a great matchup. I mean, neither is Isaiah Pacheco's matchup, but I'm going the guy that I think is going to see the field more. So give me Pacheco, give me Brian.
I'll take that with you.
Alec Pierce or Drake in the flex. It's an interesting one.
See 2 guys off 2 good games. I think Alec Pierce. I think he's been seeing consistent targets over the last few games. Again, and we're not saying Drake is bad. It's just we want you to start Drake if you have to. Again, it's a great piece. You know, he's going to go off. I think he's going to have a great game. There's no reason he shouldn't. But like, there's some guys that we wouldn't start over him. In a PPR, I think Pierce has better upside than Drake. I mean, Drake, like I said, he has the reins. He has the first crack at it, and running backs have the most volume. Drake is a great receiving back. I just feel like Alec Pierce is getting that connection with Matt Ryan and that security blanket. And he's been good, like a Edelman type of guy where he's in the middle. You let Pittman do his thing. But yeah, I think I have to go Pierce in this one.
Yep. Second in the team in targets with 31 behind Michael Pittman, tied with Michael Pittman in red zone targets. So when they get down to those scoring areas, Alec Pierce becomes a lead target for Matt Ryan and the Colts. I'm okay with starting Alec Pierce over Kenyon Drake this week. Finn Strom, Mike Evans or Jalen Waddle, PPR at my wide receiver 2 with Debo at wide receiver 1. Flex is filled. I'm going to lean Waddle.
Yeah. I mean, because I feel like the game with Tampa is going to become a blowout pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina has nothing to live for this season. They're just cleaning house. They're just purging the whole entire company. And I think Evans, he might be on the receiving end of something. But like you said, the Steelers, they've been nothing but forgiving.
Yeah,
like, here, take what you want, take the top off of us, and have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going with Tua back. I'm going Waddle there.
Yep.
PPR, Darnell Mooney or Isaiah Pacheco. Thanks, guys. I'm going to lean Mooney.
Mooney, yeah. Again, it's just it's what we know what Mooney is, but we don't know what Pacheco is going to be. So we'll say, he's good, but we don't want to start Pacheco of all these guys just for him to dud out, and then just because we want to hype the train up. We're going to tell you what we really think. And I mean, like I said, Mooney, he's got more established chemistry with Justin Fields. Even though Justin Fields can barely throw 120 yards a game, Mooney's going to be on the other side of that.
It's just the Patriots know what to do. They take away your top asset at every position. They know how to shut those guys down. We've seen it week in and week out. But I'm taking in PPR. I'm gonna take Mooney there. Yeah. Good luck, David. Here we go. Pacheco as a KC starter or George Pickens half PPR versus the Miami Dolphins. You like one over the other?
Again, this is like it's like 2 weeks ago. Well, who was it that was starting last week that we had so many questions about? Okay, was it Eno Benjamin? I don't know. I'll look back at it and I'll bring it up later.
Yeah.
But this is like that show. It's like, do you start Pacheco? I think Pacheco over Pickens is a good start. I think the value Pacheco I think has more of a snap percentage this game than Pickens does. I feel like they're actually going to get this kid involved. Like, you don't say he's a starter and not give him 20 carries. I feel like, or even like 5-6 catches, because he is quick. He's a great fill in back, and I think he's a PPR machine just waiting to happen.
Yep.
So give me Pacheco over Pickens this week.
Pacheco, Drake, or Melvin Gordon, full PPR. You like rank them?
Drake, Gordon, Pacheco.
Oh, Pacheco, Drake, Gordon, or Zay Jones, flex, full PPR.
This doesn't change anything. I think it goes Drake, Gordon, Pacheco, Zay Jones.
Yeah, there you go. Drake or Jamal Williams, 0.5 PPR. I'm going to lean Kenyon Drake.
I think Drake too, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I do not like the matchup versus the Cowboys. Everett or Freiermuth? I'm going to go Gerald Everett there. He was one of my picks to score a touchdown on National Tight Ends Day, and they face the last ranked team against the position in the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are letting the tight end score an average of 17.33 points against per week. The next team is the Raiders, and they are allowing only 12 fantasy points against per week. That's a 5-point difference there. You are starting your tight ends versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
Who to start in my second flex spot? Silas Ratliff here asks AJ Dillon, Kenyon Drake, a lot of Isaiah Pacheco. Love to see Isaiah Pacheco, Cortland Sutton, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Drake London. If I'm gonna rate these, I'm gonna go. Sutton is my wide receiver sit of the week. I'm gonna go Drake, Kenyon, Drake, London, Wan'Dale Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco, Cortland Sutton, AJ Dillon.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't want to get too cute with it, but I think that's a good little list. Yep. It's tough, but it's a good one.
A lot of guys there that can all end up in that same fantasy.
Sutton shouldn't even be there, though. Sutton should not be there.
Yeah. Okay. Start 2 out of Waddle, Amon-Ra, or Higgins. And do I start Pacheco or Pollard? PPR for both questions. I'm going to go Waddle and Higgins over Amon-Ra, and I'm going to go Pacheco over Pollard.
Yeah. Again, yeah, I like that. I mean, we don't hate Amon-Ra, but we just love what the Steelers do for receivers, and that's why Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, those guys. I think Higgins is a good one too, but I'm kind of sad because I've been burned by Higgins with the ankle injury, so I'm gonna follow you on that list and just mimic that one.
Good luck. Should I start Kenyon Drake or AJ Dillon today? I'm gonna lean Kenyon Drake.
Yep, Kenyon Drake for me too, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Okay, our RB sit of the week is AJ Dillon, a guy we've had a bunch of questions about, and Stefan's going to give you some insight into AJ Dillon's week 7.
AJ Dillon has been what you want a workhorse to be, essentially 18 carries, 12 carries, 17 carries, 6 carries, 10 carries. But man, oh man, if you look at what the hell he's doing, he's not producing you any yards at all. He's going week 1. He had 73 yards. I get it. He had one of his most productive days, but he's not putting over 80 yards. He's not putting over 100. He's got a measly 1 touchdown, a 3.9 yard per carry average. He's got 73 carries for 286 yards. Is only averaging 3.9. Yes, I could even carry the ball for 3.9 yards. I know that, but 20 plus other running backs are averaging 4 yards at least. I mean, I don't know what's wrong. I think the Packers aren't looking good offensively, and I think that's suffering the run game, and they don't run the ball as much as they should. He should be seeing minimum 20 to 25 carries a game. He is a workhorse back. He is bigger than Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is a clear-cut receiving back. We know that. He can carry the load as well for, a RB1. We've seen him do it. But A.J. Dillon, you have every makings of a 1,000-yard back, and you're not even going to hit that because you can't – I don't know if he's not reading the hole right, if he's not running the ball correctly, but it just doesn't seem like AJ Dillon is the guy that we drafted or the guy that we wanted as an RB2. Like 4 months ago, yeah, I'll take AJ Dillon as an RB2. Now, I'm trying to ship him because he's a buy low, sell low kind of guy, and I don't think he's going to have a good day this week. There
it is. We're sitting AJ Dillon. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're liking the stream and subscribing to the channel, as well as getting on that uSTADIUM app, because we are brought to you guys by the uSTADIUM app. There, big things for 2022 for uSTADIUM and beyond. Our wide receiver start of the week. When you sent me this list, this one kind of surprised me a bit based on who they're playing, but it's the rookie wide receiver for the New York Jets, G Money, GARRETT, Garrett Wilson. Why are we starting the kid?
Who else is the receiver? Who else is above him? Is he gonna
true.
cry? Is he gonna? Oh my god, I'm not doing. Oh my god, I had one catch on 5 targets for 8 yards last week. Oh my god, I'm gonna freaking go crazy. No. This man right here came from the Ohio State University. He knows what it's like to be a receiver one because he's averaged at least 5 targets every single game this season. He's had at least 4 to 5 catches on average this season. I know the last 3 weeks, 2, 3, 1. I get it. They were more run oriented. This guy doesn't get mad because Breece Hall's getting 20 carries, unlike some people. Like when he sees his team winning, he knows he's okay with it. He's on the sideline going crazy. You're not on the sideline sulking because you won because you had 1 catch. This kid can go and get 0 catches and be okay with it. And that's why I want to start Garrett Wilson, because he's got the mentality. He's got the dog mentality. He's got that positive mindset that Robert Saleh wants in his receivers. A guy who will come out, and if you give me 1 catch, he's fine with it. You give me 20 catches, he's okay with it. And I think Garrett Wilson has potential. I know it's the Denver Broncos. Pat Surtain has been locked down, has been that guy, but Corey Davis is not a receiver one. Conklin, that's why I'm sitting Conklin, because I know that defense is good. And I think the only guy to get open will be Garrett Wilson. I mean, he's the only receiver one. He's the best receiver they have. And I just think that the Jets continue their hot streak. Again, I'm not a Jets fan. I know uSTADIUM is big on the Jets, and they've put some of that blood inside of me. So I'm like, oh, Jets a little bit here and there. But I think Garrett Wilson just comes out and has a day with Zach Wilson. It's the Wilson to Wilson connection. I think Zach Wilson needs that guy who's like, hey, forget Elijah Moore. I'm your guy. Just trust me. Trust your other guys, and we'll get it done. I know Denver Broncos are very stingy. Well, Mike Williams last week had 1 catch.
Pat Surtain, man. He's that dude.
He is. I'm nothing taken away, but I think Pat Surtain, when he's not going to be covering Garrett Wilson, when he's got those few plays on Corey Davis, when he's moving around, I think that's when Garrett Wilson's going to eat. Yep. I expect at least 6 targets because, again, who else are they going to give the ball to? Barrios is not going to be seeing 7 targets. Corey Davis might have, here and there, but he's a home run player. Garrett Wilson is the only consistent receiver they have. He's the only guy who plays 80% of the share of the snap shares, and he's okay with whatever he gets. And I think he comes out, has at least 5 catches. Give me 70 yards and give me the 0.7 touchdown. I'm not against Surtain. Whenever he's off Surtain, they're going to try to get him the ball because you are not going to beat Pat Surtain. Zach Wilson, don't even try it. Just make sure you play smart because that guy will pick you off and make you look dumb.
So more of a volume play.
It's more of a volume play, I said, and he's got the potential to break off. Like we saw him against Cleveland. He broke off a touchdown run. He's got the speed. He's got the the 1-cut move. So give me Garrett Wilson and give me a solid fantasy day with him.
There you go. There you have it. Our wide receiver sit this week is Courtland Sutton, Denver Broncos versus the New York Jets. This sit is less about Russell Wilson not playing in the game because, let's face it, the egg here is on the face of the Denver Broncos, who not only made mistakes in who they hired as their head coach, but also who they traded for and signed to a big deal to play signal caller for the team in Mile High. The Subway commercials, the cringy videos. Not only are the masses sick and tired of seeing the Denver Broncos and this offense play on prime time, the infighting that we see small glimpses of on the sideline, or when KJ Hamler is slamming his helmet after being wide open in the end zone, it is bad in Denver. No, this isn't about Russell Wilson sitting this week. I'd be sitting Courtland Sutton if Russ was playing because of the play of the New York Jets defense and rookie Sauce Gardner, who is only allowing a 43% catch rate on the year. So guys, when they are targeted against Sauce Gardner, are not even catching half of their targets. The kid has been absolute lockdown. He has been earning the nickname Sauce, which is what the New York Jets have wanted this kid to do with Rippon under center. How many times are we really expecting this guy to throw the ball? He has one start in his career, and his high is 19 completions. Sure. Aaron Rodgers said it best. This isn't the same old Jets. They have held some big names in check this season, and with all the drama surrounding Elijah Moore and the galvanization of the team through the emancipation of Elijah Moore is a scary situation for any opposing offense. 4 catches, 30 yards, 0.25 touchdowns for Courtland Sutton this week. You sit him. You sit
on the bench.
Courtland Sutton. I did see a question in there about Kenyon Drake and DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is not playing the game, so you're starting Kenyon Drake.
Yep.
We'll rifle through these next few pretty quickly steps so we can hop off and set our own lineups.
Right. But no, also don't forget at 12, we will be on the space.
There you go.
So like I said, if we missed your questions or whatever, we'll see if we can join us on there and we'll answer that with a lot more guys joining that one. So
you got it. So our tight end start of the week for me is Hayden Hurst, Cincinnati Bengals versus the Atlanta Falcons. Hurst this week is set up to be the perfect streamer. If you have a tight end on bye, Goddard, Dawson Knox, Tyler Higbee, Irv Smith Jr., or you may have Darren Waller, who has been ruled out this week with the hamstring injury. I try to keep it easy when it comes to streaming my tight ends and just try to follow the trends. The Falcons are allowing 1.8 fantasy points per touch to the tight end on the season. And Hayden Hurst over the last 3 games has 12 catches, 91 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is third in targets, only behind Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He's second in red zone targets for the Cincinnati Bengals. Atlanta is second in receptions and third in receiving yards allowed versus the tight end. He's a low to mid end tight end 1, but I mean, what really is a tight end 1 this season? Behind Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, I mean, it's a crapshoot for tight ends. We saw Juwan Johnson go off for close to 22 points versus the Cardinals with the 2 tutties. So keep it simple this week if you're in a jam. My projection, 4 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown for Hayden Hurst. Our tight end sit is the other receiving option for the New York Jets, Tyler Conklin.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. The guy has had his 2 weeks, 2 and 3. He was a tight end, 1 in week 3. Tight end 2 in week 2, tier wise. But ever since then, it's been nothing but 1 target, 2 targets. I mean, Conklin is it's going to be like, okay, now I know why I never actually drafted this guy, because you're going to have weeks where he puts up 16 and weeks where he puts up 0. And I think going forward, Zach Wilson does love his tight ends. I mean, he's going to have Uzomah and Conklin. And I think both of those guys being on the team, it's not going to come and produce fantasy numbers for you. Yeah. Flat and simple. You might need a streaming tight end this week. I would go away from getting him. If you have Hayden Hurst on the waiver wire, Bellinger, anyone like that, I think also Mo Alley Cox, Hunter Henry, those are guys I feel like have sneaky value. And like you said, what is a tight end 1 nowadays outside the guys? And when I say what is a tight end 1, don't be like, well, we know. No, let's be real. Outside those upper echelon of people, we've got the wasteland, the debris of the desert. So I think Conklin is the guy you just leave on the waivers. Don't worry about him. He's not going to put up 20 points like Juwan Johnson did. And just look out somewhere else for that. That's all I'm going to leave it at.
There you go. So sit Tyler Conklin. Our Team DST start of the week is the New England Patriots. And Stefan's going to tell you why you should be starting the New England Patriots. I mean, I think the main argument here as to starting them is Chicago Bears.
Boom.
That's it.
I don't need anything. Thank you. Bears. Yeah. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. I'm no joke. That's it. You go ahead and tell why to sit the Jacksonville defense, because the Bears.
The Bears. Yeah, you're sitting the Jacksonville Jaguars defense this week. The Jaguars are the 9th ranked scoring defense for fantasy owners this season, but this won't be the week to start them versus the Giants. The Giants are only averaging 1 turnover per week on the season, so the opportunity for a defensive touchdown is just too limited to trust even for a stream. The opposing offense is only averaging 21 pass attempts and 317 total yards against on the season. Over the last 3 games, the Giants are averaging 23.7 points per game, and they have been doing better on the road, which they are going to be against Jacksonville, where they are averaging 24 points per game. So they're playing above their season average when they are on the road. Not a good spot start for one of the league's worst against the run, playing a team that has one of the absolute best in Saquon Barkley. So you are sitting the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. If we have any more questions, we have like maybe 2 minutes if we want to just rifle them off before we leave.
Let's see. Yes, don't start Swift. I mean, Jamal Williams. You had to pick. Good morning.
Good morning. I have Amari Cooper and Mike Evans starting. Should I put Lazard instead of one of them? Lazard's in a good spot versus the Commanders, but I'm going to lean Cooper and Evans.
Yeah, don't tinker. This is a tinker moment that you think Lazard's going to do good. Just leave your 2 studs in there and you'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Thanks for joining, Bob. Hey, guys, good morning. Do you recommend I start Lockett or Alec Pierce? I'm going to lean towards Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, I think the matchup's favorable for him.
Mm-hmm. Both wide receiver 2s for the week. D Swift or Kenyon Drake. D Swift has been, I believe, ruled out, so I'm going to go Kenyon Drake. That's an easy one, man. Take questions like that all the time. Or should bench James Robinson over D Swift? I mean, if your options are D Swift or James Robinson this week, I mean, you're starting James Robinson just because he's dressed.
Yep.
Pick 3, Brendan Cooks, Cortland Sutton, Alec Pierce, or Brendan Ayuk. I'm going to go Ayuk, Pierce, and Cooks, and I'm benching Sutton this week.
Give me Cooks, Ayuk, Pierce, Sutton. I'm going to bench him this week too. Like, no one's cooking in Denver. It's going to be a vegan day.
The only person that's cooking today versus the Jets in Denver is going to be Sauce. He's making the sauce. Whip it up. I believe that's it for us this week. We got a couple more. Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams. I'm going to lean Aaron Jones.
Yep.
Flex Josh Reynolds or Tanyan. Tyler Boyd would also be an option. Full PPR.
Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm going to go Josh Reynolds, Tyler Boyd, and Tanyan in that order.
Yep.
It is National Tight End Day. We did see Tanyan do some things for that offense, but I just don't trust I don't trust the weekly output for Rob Tanyan. That's it for us. Make sure you are liking the stream, subscribing to the channel. It helps us furthermore help you guys chase those rings, get your names engraved on those trophies, and get that money in your pocket if you're playing in cash leagues. As always, I'm your host, Chris, and with me is Stefan, the Bershbomber. Beresage, not Bershowitz. Stefan, let them know where they can get at you. Also, before you do, I believe you're hopping on the Twitter space at 12.
Yes, at 12. We're going to have a Twitter space. Rest of you start sit questions. Like I said, if you have any questions coming on, any Pacheco questions, Kenyon Drake questions, hop on 12. We'll be doing that until about 12:45, 12:50. Want to get you guys some time to set up your lineups and us to set up our lineups because we do play fantasy football too. So while we help you, we got to make sure we help ourselves. So, but join that. I think Frankie would be there. I think Anthony might be there as well. Chris might drop in as well.
Yeah,
but like I said, we want to make sure you guys win your leagues, size those ring fingers, and get your name engraved in that trophy.
That's it. That's it. That's it for us. Good luck this week.